Hi everyone, my name is Yulisin. Today I will present the topic about romantic opera. First of all, what is opera? An opera is a theatrical piece that tells a story totally through the music. It consists of dialogue which provide the narrative plotline and elaborate chorus singing, along with duets and arias. Now I will introduce the romantic opera. Romantic opera was a genre of early 19th century German opera, developed from the operas comics of the French Revolution. The Romanticism is the golden age of opera. It combined drama and music, and it expressed strong feelings or passions like love. Opera became increasingly popular with love stories, fairy tales, and tragedies. The singer will sing the story during each act in the opera. Most dialogue are sang or in recitative style. Certain aria or solo singing part was the chorus of the song, will let the people remember when leaving the opera. This is the example of the romantic opera. The title of the opera is Carmen, sang by Habanera and composed by Bizet.
Okay, for the next one, I will explain to you guys about the different styles of operas. The first one is bel canto. This Italian phrase means beautiful singing. These operas grew from a style of singing emphasizing long phrases, breath control, and flexibility in singing both loudly and softly. Because the voice is considered the most expressive element, the words are often secondary. Gaetano Donizetti is composed in this style. Second is opera buffa. Comic opera always sung in Italian. The jokesters in these operas are usually the working class, such as maids, peasants, or servants, who keep busy getting the best of their employers. Gioacchino Rossini is the composer in this style. So the next one I will explain to you guys about the opera seria. Opera seria is a serious opera. These stories are often tragic and typically involve heroes and kings or ancient myths and gods. Some of Handel's opera are in this style. Singspiel, which is song play involved in German-speaking countries out of the comic opera tradition. These include elements of the comic opera, spoken dialogue injected among the sung phrases, and often an exotic or fanciful theme. Mozart's The Magic Flute is an example of this style. Grand opera is a spectacular opera. It is performed with elaborate sets and costumes. Many people are needed to make it happen. Grand opera involves royalty, heroism, and elaborate ballet scene, and it's often long. Composer in this style is Giacomo Meyerbeer, wrote the opera in this style. And the last one is music drama, a style of opera that is created by a single artist who writes both the text and music to advance the drama. This style fuses many art forms and makes each one as important as the others. Composer in this style is Richard Wagner.
I will be explaining about components of opera. So there is 5 types of components in opera, which is libretto, overture, recitative, aria, duo, trio, and other small ensemble. We go to the next slide. What is libretto? A libretto is a little book that contains stage directions. So it specifies the relations between the scenes and the songs. What is spoken, what is sang, and what is danced, as well as the other of the scenes. It translates the language of the performed opera. So in this libretto, we can see a lot of language. And then it also connects a series of episodes in a drama. Overture. The history of the opera overture goes back to the very beginning of the 17th century. An overture is a piece of music for the orchestra to play at the beginning. The word comes from French, means opening because it opens the show. Usually, overture have its own tunes, which are going to be heard. The tunes prepares the audience for what is to come. Example, composers like Richard Wagner were very careful to make the overture a dramatic beginning which prepared the audience for the story. So, aria. Aria is an opportunity to showcase one solo voice and get to know what is going on in the mind of the character in that moment. Aria is performed by the vocal soloist. It also accompanied by an orchestra, but they may also accompanied by individual instruments such as piano. The first to employ aria was Monteverdi's on 1607 opera El Orfeo.
Fan più caro il ben presente, vissi già mesto e dolente, vissi già mesto e dolente.
The next one is recitative. Recitative is a type of singing that is closer to speech than song. Recitative are usually sung on a repeated note or just a few notes and there is no melody. Recitative also used for conversation between characters. Each role requires a different types of singer, not only be able to sing a given vocal range, but also with a certain voice characteristic, color, and power. The first known opera is Jacopo Peri's Eurydice from the year 1600. The last components of opera is duo, trio, and other ensemble. The word ensemble refers to a time in the opera when multiple characters are portraying conflicting emotion at the same time. The first and most common sort of ensemble is Verdi's famous Anvil chorus from Second Trovatore. That is all from me. Let's see the duo and other ensemble video.
Who is the first developed in a romantic opera? In the history of German opera, there is a person known as the founder of German romantic opera. He is Weber. During the Renaissance, German composers always hoped that they could correct their own opera. However, it is not known whether the development of German opera art is too slow or suppressed by the faster developing Italian and French opera. In short, German opera has not improved. Just when the German people were disappointed, Weber appeared, and the German opera became the symbol of Romanticism. Born in a theatre family, Weber has a deep experience of German folk music and folk culture, which is of great significance to his future music creation. Later, Weber's representative work, the opera Freischaute, was born. The strong German style and the romantic atmosphere are considered to be the symbol of Germany's first romantic opera, and he became the founder of modern German opera. The trend of romantic literature and art that arose in Europe in the early 19th century also impacts the field of opera. And from a century-long romantic opera and a large number of romantic opera composers emerged, there are romantic opera composers such as Weber, Rossini, Nain. This is all of our group present. Thank you.